Hi and welcome to Learning AutoCAD 2013 tutorial number 17. Today we'll print our little house project, but before we'll learn how to add a title block to our plan. We'll do it importing objects like pictures and using external references or the Xrefs. And finally we'll close this video printing our layout or sheet of paper. This tutorial has been created by EasyCAD for you and just want to ask you to like the video and share if you enjoy. First of all, using title blocks is the norm professionally. It normally includes information about your drawing like scales as well as your company name, etc. AutoCAD has some title block samples that if you are a beginner you can use. In this version of CAD, we have some in the supporting files, so we can see them by going to Application menu button, New, and then from the options available we select the ones that begin with tutorials. And you see in the preview area how the title block included looks like. Of course, remember this is just a template, so it also has other predefined settings. If you click one here, the drawing will have by default the title block. Most people, however, decide to create a new one that suits their needs, and normally companies will have a unique one that highlights their information and will have it within their template. So, just to be clear, this should be added to your template. But regardless of what you decide to do, let's just create one really quick and then we'll import it as an Xref or external reference. So just have in mind that this is not what we would do normally. Rather, it should be within your own template, but we'll do it this way for the purpose of teaching you how to use Xrefs and import other elements to your drawing. So what are external references? In simple terms, is data from outside of our drawing which can be seen and used inside of it. It could be comprised of other drawings, images, or pictures, Excel tables, PDFs, you name it. The purpose of Xref is to allow multiple users to work on a project simultaneously or collaborate with others. So for instance, let's say our firm receives a survey for a project and I'm assigned to do the architectural part, or you get the assignment of producing the electrical plans and a third person will do the plumbing. We can all work simultaneously by taking advantage of Xrefs or external references. To see how this works, let's do it with our title block. Open a new drawing from our regular template and draw it line by line. Here on the screen, you have the one I'll be using, so you can stop the video and create it. If you wonder why it's not showing 36 inches by 24 inches, as is the size of our sheet of paper, of our paper space, just have in mind we're leaving some space for the binding of multiple sheets once it's ready for plotting, and also for some type of comfort within the plotting process. Additionally, all my corners, as you see, are rounded with a 1-inch radius, and the radius of the circle right here for the stamp is 1 inch as well. Remember to add some annotations to complete it, like for example project name, sheet names, addresses, etc. Now, once your title block is done, we will reference it into our drawing. So we will go to the Insert tab, Reference Module, and then click the Attach button. This will open the Select Reference file. So you locate the image you want, or in this case, our title block drawing, to import as you would do with any other program. Select the file and see the preview on the right, and then just click Open. Now it requests for us to specify where you want it to be. And although we can use the specific coordinates by entering them here in the insertion point with the exact coordinates, the simplest and easiest way to do it is to have the Specify on Screen option checked. On the right, you can modify the rotation or the scale, but you can do it also after it's already in the drawing. So there's no need for this at this point. If you check these options, CAD will prompt you for those values at the moment of inserting the image, or as in this case, the drawing. Otherwise, it will use the values you select here. In our case, now we're not entering anything. Click OK, and CAD prompts to specify the insertion point on screen. So just click where you want it, and we're done. You can put it in any of the paper tabs or on the model space. It's completely up to you. In this specific case, I'll opt for the paper. So I'll put it here in the layout that we will print, and we will move it to the exact position we need. It might take you a little bit longer than this, but you have to be patient. Obviously, we need to adjust our viewports to accommodate all three of them. This will require some adjustments, so we need to play with all these viewports. In order for us to do it, we select them one by one, and then, using the editing grips, we move them to the place we want. Just have in mind that this was the subject of the previous tutorial. Now, to toggle between paper and model space, we use the button at the status bar. On the other hand, to adjust the drawing within the viewport, most likely you will have to pan a little bit. Now, repeating what we were doing, we have to change the paper space again to move or adjust the objects that are in paper instead of in model space. Like, for example, here, this title for the second drawing. This is a process that will repeat more or less for each viewport, so try to do it now on your own. Remember, we select the active viewport by clicking on it while we are in model space, but also we can use in our keyboard Ctrl-R, and this will change the selection in a cycle from one viewport to the next one. And take your time until you get the results you want, adjusting all of these elements. Remember, however, that if we zoom in or out in model space, we lose the scale. So if that happens to you, we have the undo button. Now, once we're done, let's use my logo as another Xref as well. So you see what else can be used. We'll repeat the process by going to Insert tab, Reference module, and then click the Attach button. Select Reference File, locate the image you want, and click Open. Now the next prompt is for the scale factor. You can enter any number here or just accept the default, which is 1, meaning it's the size of the original. I will use 2 here because that's what I need to fill out this area in our top right hand corner, and just a little bit of adjustment to make it fit in the proper place. Now, to work with these references, we locate the manager by clicking the arrow indicating the external reference palette. As you can see, we have our drawing and 2 additional files. One is our title block, and the other one is our logo. We can do some additional operation with this, and we'll see it by right-clicking on top of each one of them. We have options to bind, to unload or reload them. For example, we click Unload, and it's gone. Reload, and it's back. There is a lot to this, and we won't cover all the details. Remember, this is just the basics. Let's see an interesting thing though. We go to the title block drawing and we modify something like adding the name to the project. We name it My First House Project. We see that the one we have in our house project is not reflecting this. However, the moment that our Xrefs are edited and saved in the original drawing, we will be notified in ours and will be prompted to reload for the changes to be visible. So this is happening real time. This is an awesome tool, guys, that is a must if you plan on working for any company or for any firm. Now let's finally print or plot our project. We covered the basics in the previous tutorial during video number 16, so I hope it's easy for you to follow me. Let's right click on top of layout 1 and we'll click the print option. This will give us the same dialog box as the setup manager to confirm the print options. Although mine is already set up since the previous video, let's double check the settings. We need to have the plot style, the preferred plot options, the paper size, the scale, and last but not least, the plotter. In our case, just make sure that we have DWG to PDF PC3. And just to clarify, this is not the best option, but it's pretty handy, at least for me, because I can, take it from my house, my firm, and take it to a print shop. Now we can click preview, and this is how the final product will look like. Here we have a last chance to double check everything is all right. And don't assume that all you see in paper space is going to be plotted. Remember that you might have some layers set to not to plot, or some elements that are supposed not to be seen. So here you can go back and correct something if you need to, and you can zoom in or out and pan in the process. But if everything is fine, just click the printer icon on your top left hand corner. It will open the Browse for Plot File dialog box. So look for the proper location and rename it in case you need it, and then select Save. You will see the plot in progress as it happens, but then we'll have the PDF. An interesting thing is that you will be able to turn on and off the individual layers in the system. Now you have your final product ready to be sent to the client or to be sent for review to someone else. Well, friends, this is all for today. Remember to like the video and subscribe for more. You're more than welcome to share it. And if you happen to have any questions, feel free to post them and we'll do our best to answer ASAP. For our next video, we'll be jumping into 3D modeling based on this. Again, thanks for watching and see you next time.